Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're gonna have a guide for our girl Aphrodite because she's so hot right now. And there will be timestamp in the comment section and the description. We'll go over her build, her kit, abilities, how, when to use them, priorities. We'll go over the mid and solo lane, which are the main lane you should focus on right now, but I'll also include a bit of support if you want to try it, though it's not recommended. So without further ado, let's get started with a little hello, and let's get started with her kit. So I'll switch team right away so I can show you her kit. There we go. Her passive, super easy. Center of attention. For every ally or enemy nearby, you see the little heart down there, you get flat protection. Super easy. This can help you learn about your positioning, because if you're in a team fight and you only have one heart, something might be array. You might want to be closer to your team. Make sure you stick to your team so you don't get caught off guard. So, but that's pretty much it for her passive. You don't really need to think about it. You just enjoy the protection while it lasts and live your best life. And to do so, you will need a soulmate, okay? That will be achievable with her kiss. Her kiss is super easy. Well, it's not easy. I take that back. I take that back so bad. This is basically the hardest part of her kit, because being an Aphrodite and why she's considered hard is not for the damage. Damaging people, hitting your abilities, it's quite easy, but I mean, it's expected on any mage really to hit your abilities. What is hard when playing Aphrodite is one, timing, and second, decision making. While I have the attention of everybody, I want to make a public announcement, okay? Do not, and I do, and I cannot stress this enough. Do not assume an Aphrodite has a kiss ready for you, okay? Without the kiss, nothing happens. She can't use her abilities on you, and you will die. But on the other hand, if we need people to stop assuming we have kiss ready for them, my future Aphrodite mains, I highly recommend you to buy yourself a microphone and to communicate. She's the goddess of love and relationship, and just like real life relationship, you need communication. You need to be able to say to your team, don't go in, I don't have a heal for you. Don't go in, I don't have a link for you. Don't go in, I do not have my ult. On the other hand, I have my ult. Let's gank them. Dive them. Okay, I'm ready. Come over here. Heal. What will make the difference between a good and a bad Aphrodite is that a bad Aphrodite will just think she's playing Mercy on Overwatch, stay linked to the Kali, and try to pull some pharmacy shit. A good Aphrodite will be there. Okay, you get out of here. A heal for you. Okay, ultimate for you. Boom. Okay, let's run away. And a stun on the enemy. And everybody survives. And you'll be on the other team. What the fuck? What should happen? But on the other hand of the spectrum, on the other hand of the microphone, the Aphrodite is shouting at people. She is saying, you don't get a heal, you get a heal, you get an ultimate, everybody gets their life, honey. So you need to be able to take charge in a way. But let's get back to the kiss. The kiss does many things. Basically, it does everything for you. While you're linked to somebody, you get many advantages. First of all, you go faster. At rank level 5, you get 20% movement speed, which is a lot, especially if you have another movement item on top of your boots, which you always buy, of course. Second of all, you also get mana regeneration for your little soulmate over there. Not everybody knows that, but as you can see over here, 70% of the mana regenerated by Aphrodite is restored to her soulmate. Always nice to have. Another thing, if you are linked to somebody and you stun an enemy, they get a little bonus to their damage. I say little because at the beginning it's what? 8%, which at the beginning is cute, but that's nothing more than that. It's cute. But as you can see, It's 20% endgame. By endgame, when everybody has their build done, ooh child, the damage. It does a whole lot of damage when you have this build. So you need to be careful who you prioritize with this. Because you're not going to give this buff to a guardian. I mean, maybe if it's Yemoja, but other than that, it won't be any good on a guardian. Make sure to prioritize your assassin, especially because they can get in the fray. Sometimes the team will turn on them, and you want to be able to get them out of this those situations with the rest of your kit, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, the priority in order, in my opinion, assassins first, then your carry support, then your carry, your mages, if you're in the solo lane, mage, if you're in the mid lane, carry, you got the point. And after that, if you have a King Arthur or an Achilles, sure, give it to the solo, but make sure to especially give it to your assassins, because they are the ones who want to get in and get out. But if they get CC crowd control, they can get out, and that's why you can help them in many ways. So yes, for the bullet points, if you're by yourself, you just stun an enemy with that kiss. Also, if you kiss an enemy, you see the cooldown? 12 seconds. It starts at 14 seconds, but it's a lot more than when you are doing it between your allies. When you're doing it between your allies, it's only 1 second. So sometimes you don't even want to stun anybody. You just want to kiss between your allies. Give them the movement speed, maybe a heal here, maybe a little peel here. You just want to kiss sometimes. So yeah, be careful with that. Also, when it comes to her kiss, we talked about the priority, we talked about the movement speed. Make sure to kiss somebody basically all the time. When you get out of the base and you want to get to your team faster, make sure to kiss somebody. Don't just... Let me just break that kiss real quick. You see? If you get too far, it breaks. So you need to be mindful of that, but I'll get to this point later. Don't just go and run out of your base with somebody else and you just... Let's take that Odin. And you're just running together. Make sure to kiss so you can get to the objective faster together. It's little things like that that you need to think about. But we'll get to the little things to think about. While I was unbreaking the link, I have another public announcement. You'd think I was at the White House or something. I have another public announcement for our dear friend assassins out there. Be careful with those leaps. Be careful with those links. Like I said, she's the goddess of relationship. And just like a relationship, there can't just be one person pulling. The second you're linked, you are one. You need to work together. The number of times I was rotating with an assassin, he asked for a link, I gave him the link, but we're still far away, we're still far ahead, okay? Distance like that or that. They leap, break the link, get killed, and have the audacity to ping me. No. If I give you a kiss and I tell you, okay, wait up, we close the distance, then you leap into the action, we're still linked, and I can give you all that good support. So once again, communication is key. So that's about it for the kiss. Let me just retake a bit of mana over there so I can show you the rest of her kit. The legendary back off. Super easy. If you are by yourself, they're still gonna be immune because they're Odin and they're just here for show. But if you are by yourself,
get away.
Immune. What was that immune? It was a knockback. If you are by yourself, you will do damage, you will slow for 2 seconds by 25%, and you'll also knock them back 25 units. If you are linked to somebody,
back off.
You do an explosion at their location as well. At your location and their location as well, sorry. If they're it only, and I do mean only, by the explosion from your soulmate, they only get the damage and slow, no knockback. If, however, they are hit by both of your explosion, let's say you are closer, let me get my cooldown here.
Get away.
and they are hit by both your explosion, they get the full effect from the explosion of Aphrodite alone. So they get the full kit, the damage, the knockback, and the slow for 2 seconds. Quite easy, let's get to the third ability. So the third ability is her heal. You set the telegraph, line straight forward, you send your bird, anybody hit by the birds, take damage. I mean, not thick because, well, our girl is thick after all. She's the god of beauty. But I mean, damage over time. Yeah, let's go with that. They take damage over time, and you get heals over times, which I cannot showcase here because I have my full health. There, hit me. So yeah, as you can see, heal over time for you. If you're a link with a teammate, they will also get a heal, which I cannot show you here because they cannot take damage. But yes, you and your soulmate will get heals. Super useful. Now to the final part of her kit, her ultimate, Undying Love. Now remember when I said that knowing who, when, and for how long to kiss somebody was a big part of her kit? Damaging is about 10% of her kit. Making sure to hit your abilities like any other mage is crucial, of course, but doing the damage isn't the problem. The other important part of her kit and what makes her hard is the timing of her ultimate. So when it comes to her ultimate, don't be fooled by the animation. At rank 1, it only lasts 0.8 seconds. So you want to be very precise with your ultimate. This is what will make the difference between life and death at the beginning of the game. Because a Zeus will try to zap you, a Nua will try to come for your ass, and a Poseidon will try to send his Kraken after your cheeks. And you don't want that. But if you're not precise enough, the animation might last long, but you will still die, and you will wonder, what happened? Well, it's because your timing wasn't precise enough. And this only comes with practice. So don't be fooled by the animation. At rank 1, it only lasts 0.8 seconds. Now, another thing. I know it's quite controversial. In the SMITE community, you think dying with your ultimate and is the equivalent of a goddamn genocide, but with Aphrodite at the beginning of the game, it is okay to die with your ult. You need to be careful when to use your ult. If you're out of position and they catch you, it's okay to die with your ult. Using your ult, like I said, at rank 1, whoops, we'll get to the build later. At rank 1, it's only 0.8 seconds, but it is on a, well, I have reduced cooldown here, but it's on a 80-second cooldown, a minute and 20 seconds. Let's take a scenario here. Your team got a few kills at the beginning of the game, and you're in the lane. You take your mid RPs, you know, on the left, and then you decide to be greedy and go for the oracles. You rush Chronos Pendant because you're that bitch, and it's super useful, and Chronos Pendant is a super good item. But rushing it wasn't the good idea this time, because oop, here's the jungler and the enemy mid lane coming for those cheeks. So they jump you, ta-da-ta-ta-ta. Your duo went back to base, your jungler is in solo lane. Basically, you're by yourself. So they jump your ass, and you die. It's useless to use your 0.8 second immunity and then get killed. Now you have an 80-second cooldown. You go back to your lane, the jungler just stole your red buff, and they dive you, which happen more often than you think. So they dive your tower, and you have no heals. You have no ultimate, so you die again. As opposed to just die the first time, go back with your ultimate, they jump you, you use your ult, poke, and you let the tower do the rest. Now, you may have gotten, in the best case scenario, you've gotten a kill and 1 death instead of 2 deaths, and 0 kills. So it's decision making. You need to be careful when to use your ult at the beginning. By the end, Lord, by the end, it is on a 2 second duration for the immunity of damage and cooldown crowd control removal. So super useful. And it's on a, if I'm not mistaken, around 40-second cooldown. So you're allowed to be a bit less precise with your timing, but still try to be precise. Do practice, but you're allowed to be a bit less precise with your timing by the end of the game because it lasts longer and the cooldown is less punishing. But at the beginning of the game, the decision making is very important. So yeah, now that we have the ultimate, which remove crowd control and immune you to damage, if you're linked with a soulmate, they get this as well. So sometimes it's also okay to go link to someone and save them. The ultimate doesn't always have to be for you. If you're able to turn the tide of battle, ult yourself, protect your ally, heal them, especially if you deal damage, so you heal like a truck, and then turn the tide of battle on their asses, go right ahead. It's okay to not use the ult only on you. You can use it on other people, but make sure that the priority is on you because you cannot heal anybody and you cannot save anybody if you're dead. How about that? So that's pretty much it for her kit. Decision making is the key. Now let's get over some scenarios, little tips and tricks, okay? Once again, with our good old friend the Kiss, let's pretend it's endgame. You're running away from the enemy jungler, and there's a few of your teammates ahead of you. Don't pussy back. What I mean by pussy backing is don't just go, do I go back? Do I have a heal? No. If you want to leave, you leave. You just dash. So you're leaving with your team, and the assassin is coming for your cheeks. In your head, you might think, I'm just gonna turn around, kiss them, stun, and I run away. In this scenario, what could be more effective is link with your ally, so both you and the ally have a 20% movement speed increase, and then turn around and stun the enemy. Because if you only stun them and they have any amount of crowd control reduction, and they're also an assassin, so more often than not they have a movement ability, or a dash, or a blink, or a leap, they're jumping on you and your kiss was useless. If you're linked with someone, you get the movement speed, you turn around, you stun them, so you had a little moment to widen the gap. If they leap, jump, or blink, a well-timed back off, and now they're slowed for 2 seconds, and you still have that movement speed from that link, so you can just run off into the sunset. Little decision like this will make the difference. Another thing, you can also use it aggressively. Let's say that now it's your assassin who's trying to catch a carry, but he can't. Give them a little kiss so they get the movement speed, and if they still cannot get to the target, but they're close,
Get away!
slow the enemy. It's always useful, and you don't lose much. But like I said, stay near them in case they have a leap or something, so they don't break the link, and you can just get both of you out of there if anything turns awry. Okay. I have other little scenarios like that. For example, if you just got yourself a few kills at the Gold Fury, you contested and all that, and you see that your carry or your mage is low on mana, and they have 3 deaths, you have none, or maybe just 1, and you want to go get the fire giant. First of all, make sure to link to someone so you can get to the objective faster, and the best way would be to link to your little carry or mage, because remember, 70% of the mana you regenerate, and by mid to end game it is a lot, will be transferred to your soulmate, so that's a good thing. So that's pretty much it for little tips and tricks, let's get to the build. We'll start with the mid lane. Chronos Pendant is so good. It is a gift from the gods, literally. Cooldown reduction on our girl who use it like crazy is super good. You have power and you have MP5 so you never run out of mana. Perfection, absolutely perfection. Not only that, but the passive will reduce one cooldown from all of your abilities after 10 seconds. The number of time you're gonna think, if only I had my ult, if only I had my heal. Look down at your build and you have no cooldown reduction. Congratulations, you played yourself. Make sure to have some cooldown reduction. And there's so many good items who give it. You have those boots over here, Spear of Desolation, super good. Staff of Mirrodin, I don't really like it because you need
So hot right now.
you need to change the way you play with it. You're usually used to some way of combo or anything like that, and in the thick of battle, in the action, you'll just ult and sometimes you'll just send your bird. But the heal doesn't work. The heal doesn't stack a second time. The damage will, but not the heal. Or sometimes you'll just make a mistake and hit the kiss, and now you just lost the passive. So, Staff of Mirrodin, whichever. The Staff of Merlin, I don't like it. But there's other great item. If they're focusing you, Mental of Discord, never let a bitch down. Super good. But let's go for a real build. Those 4 items, this whole build over there, you can build the whole tree and get away with it. It's all good, honestly. Other items, Shoes of Focus, I like them. The cooldown, the mana for our girls, super useful. Shoes of the new Shoes of the Magi, I see people use it, and I see people use it well. It's okay if you like it. I prefer my cooldown, but a good option too. Other than that, Spear of Desolation, always a good match. Divine Ruin, also good. If they have healing, you know it's the move. Other item that I like, it's in the health department, but I'll get to that when I talk about solos. Let's see how it works. Let's change team once more. I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. And let's build something real quick, a little basic
This will
build.
totally make us win.
So all this and maybe this there. Now let's try on a god how it fare.
Back off.
So that's the basic solo you'll want to use.
Pimpin' ain't easy.
As you can see, the damage is crazy. For all the little solo who have the carry who have no defense, make sure they have no defense.
Alone.
Works wonders. Absolutely, absolute madness. Absolute madness. I like it a lot. Soul Reaver works a lot, but since we're talking about book, let me show you. Now this works only if you're sure you're gonna hit your abilities and you are safe. But a Book of Thought, once again, never let a bitch down. Let me tell you, if you think you are healing a lot with a basic damage build, just wait until you build this bad boy. Let me tell you. And then you go with a Doom Orb. But as you can see, we don't have a lot of cooldown reduction. So you need to be precise with your hit, and you need to make sure that everything sticks. But by the end, the damage...
Get away. You're alone. Can't handle these girls.
super good. And the healing, even better. Let me get to that tower. Ah, there we go. Also another thing, since we're talking about items, a lot of Aphrodite who are playing in the mid lane like to build this little baby over here, Rod of Asclepius. It is okay, don't get me wrong, But there's another item who does the job even better. And that's a little Rod of Tahuti here. Some people don't know it yet, but it doesn't only affect your damaging abilities, it also affects your healing abilities. So when you're under 50% of the 50% health, sorry, you gain a 25% increase healing compared to a 10 or 15 with Rod of Estipius, which is super good. Now, if you want to go out of your way and buy both, by all means do. So as you can see, the heal here, 140. Aphrodite's heal are nothing to play with. But let me show you if I get under 50% health.
Come, my doves.
165. Do you see this? Do you see this? A few stack, back to almost full health. But now for the build I use right now, which I absolutely adore, and which gives you the best of all worlds really. It gives you mana so you don't run out, damage of course, cooldown reduction, and penetration. Is of course a little baby here, Chronos Pendant. I do not get the Doom Orb, Rod of Tahuti, a Soul Reaver, and penetration. I get a Spear of Desolation or Divine Ruin if they have healing, one or the other, and this little bad boy
This will totally
here.
make us win.
Since her buff to her tree, she now has 6 tick of the damage. So now she can fully utilize Spear of the Magus, even though it was better before, but we're not gonna talk about this. The passive is still relevant on our girl. And as you will be able to see, I mean, I showed it to you earlier, but if they have no Aegis and you catch them slipping, they're gonna.
99 problems, but you one.
So yeah, I do love Spear of the Magus. She's one of the few god who can use it. Her and, what's his name? Merlin. Yeah, Merlin. Or Agni. Though I don't think you use it on Agni anymore.
Get away.
But yes, absolutely, absolute madness.
Baby, I love
Works on the little carry.
Leave me alone.
Works on the SSS2.
the tango.
Get away.
Triple key.
And it out heal the enemy too. So really good. I love me a Spear of the Magus. But that's about it for the mid lane. We'll get into the relics real quick. Standard relics. So the Aegis. Oh, I need to be in the boutique. My bad. So the Aegis and Purification Bead. And if you're thinking, well, I already have my ult, so do I need them? I kind of want to build a meditation cloak. Oh, we'll get to meditation cloak. All right, just you wait. But no. Build them. First of all, at level 1, you don't have your ultimate, so it's always good to have one or the other. Though I prefer starting with a Purification Bead. If your timing is right, once again, you can get away with your ultimate, and at the beginning of the battle, if you're getting too much damage, it's more about your positioning than anything else. And that just gets better with practice. And then an Aegis, because why not, you know? They think they got you with your ult, and then you just pop an Aegis, and they're mad. Big mad. So the starting cooldown is 180 seconds. 3 goddamn minutes. If you feel like you're being focused too much, go ahead and evolve both of them, which reduce their cooldown by 30 seconds. But if you feel it's still too much, and you feel like you have enough damage, go ahead and buy yourself. It's rare, I don't do this too often, but when I do, I can feel it. A good old relic dagger. Now the cooldown is down to almost a minute 30 seconds on your Aegis. Insane! Absolutely mad. You see that? So small cooldown. So small cooldown. Anyway, relic dagger. For your defensive option, if you want cooldown, a good old either Spirit Robe or Mantle of Discord, though I prefer Mantle of Discord. If you don't have the coins, go with a Spirit Robe, but Mantle of Discord should be the priority when it comes to defense. And that's about it for the mid lane. Now, onto the solo lane. Because see, all those goddamn warriors think they're slick with their goddamn gladiator shield, but I have them pinned down. You hear me? Pinned down. So if you're against an Hercules, or King Arthur, or maybe a Vimana, or a Chuck, okay? Here's what I do. I start with a Mage Blessing. Usually you want to go with a Warrior Blessing if you're against anybody else, but against those annoying healing warrior, I go with a Mage Blessing because I want my cooldown.
So hot right
Then
now.
I get into a bit of physical defense with a Breastplate. Now with this you want to play defensively. You're not online yet, but so are they. The number of times you see a King Arthur who's playing like a little bitch until he gets that goddamn gladiator shield, and then he run at you like it's a goddamn Black Friday. But after that you get yourself this new baby, Contagion,
As long as it
and they
doesn't make
already
me look
don't
fat.
like that, okay? They do not like that. But then you double down. You cannot stack both Contagion and Pestilence. But what you can stack is a Divine Rune. And they don't like that either. Now they're getting 25% plus a 40%, 65% healing reduction. Trust me, they feel it. And if you're playing Chang'e, which are already built in 50% healing reduction, oh, you chunk them. But it's not a guide about Chang'e. Now, if
This will
you are
totally
petty,
make us
just like
win.
me, and there's more healing on their team, so a Chang'e, another Aphrodite, hell, Sylvanas, go ahead and buy yourself a good old cursed Ankh, okay? And now you're almost invincible against them, okay? You can just go ahead and laugh at their faces, okay? You're just gonna be, oh, what's this, King Arthur? Oh, why under your tower? Oh, you scared? Oh, okay, I'm just gonna go and get your blue buff. Don't mind me. Okay, ta-ta. Psych. Here's a kiss for you. And here's some bird, okay?
Back off.
Back off. Oh, you're dead? Oh, well, that's too bad. Okay, I'm just gonna take that back camp too. And you're gonna have a field day, let me tell you. So yeah, stacking anti-healing against those mages, so much fun. So much fun. But don't build Divine Ruin third item. Go ahead and buy yourself
So
some
hot
Shoes
right
of
now.
Focus because you need at least 20% cooldown reduction to be comfortable, let's say. Then you go with the Divine Ruin, and after that, what I do like to build, fifth item, now that it gives percentage base reduction instead of flat pen, Void Stone. It never hurts anybody, so go ahead and build that. Super useful for you and your team. And after that, once again, if you're petty, if you're a real bitch, a messy bitch who lives for drama, go ahead and buy Gem of
This will
Isolation.
totally make us win.
It is still relevant. Aphrodite is one of the gods who can use some niche item like Spear of the Magus and Gem of Isolation. Because do remember, it stays for 3 seconds. 3 seconds is a whole slow, and it's in a... Look at this! Look at this! They are reconsidering every single one of their decisions in that 3 seconds with that slow. Not only that, but you pair it... Look at that! You pair it with the slow from back off. Of course there's diminishing return, but they're gonna feel that. Remember the example I was giving you about running after the carry with your jungler? Now you just kiss them, and you back off. Oh, they can't move. They cannot move. So they have the time to appreciate that, because that's what they're about to get. And while running away, the example I was giving to you about the jungler, now you can run, turn around, once you're lick, of course, don't forget that good link for that movement speed. You stun them, and if you can afford it, careful, don't pussy back. If you can afford it, send the bird. So not only are you slowing the enemy jungler, you're also slowing the whole enemy team who's probably after them. And now you can just run away in the sunset with your good old friends. So yeah, Gem of Isolation never let me down. But if you want, Ethereal Staff,
So hot
also
right
good
now.
on solo Aphrodite. No problem there. Now, if you're not petty, or if you're not against a warrior and you just want a standard build, well, you're not against a healing warrior and you just want a standard build, those three never fail me. I like them a lot. In the solo lane, super useful. Maybe not Lotus Crown as much. In the solo lane, you can get away with it because when your jungler comes to gank, you can give them protection. But usually it's more on a god like Hel and Chang'e who can apply it to their whole team. You can only, even though people think Aphrodite is a hoe, she is still monogamous. She only has one soulmate at a time. So you cannot apply it to everybody, only one person at a time. But it's always good. Not only that, MP5 is nice, protection is good, and it gives you 80 protection early game. But Jade Emperor Crown does the job just as well. Now, when it comes to defense, magical defense, if you're starting against a magical enemy, I do like to go ahead and not even buy defense, actually. No, I'm playing. Buy a little bit of defense up. Oni is good. It's basically our passive, but instead of being flat protection, it's percentage based, which is even better. Other than that, Spirit Robe, Mental of Discord, never a bad thing. Now when it comes to damage, Pi tags can be useful, but I'll come to this later. Ethereal Staff, like I said, Rod of Asclepius, if you feel like it. Later, a bit later, Warlock Staff, why not? And Stone of Binding too. Even though it's only 1 second, the heal, the stun, and after that you lay waste upon them with the birds and the back off. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes I do use it. I like it. And other than that, there's so many goddamn paths you can take with her. Genji's Guard, also good for solo. Shogun, also good. Though Shogun, and that's only me. That's a bit. Don't take this part seriously, okay? Everything said is only my opinion in this whole video, but especially now. This is a bit trolly. But if your team is auto attack based, there's a lot of auto attack. What I do like to pull off is a Shogun with a little, where's my lifesteal? A little Pi tags over there, and then a Rod of Asclepius. And when I do this, I make sure to stay near my team. So the effect is everybody is attacking faster, everybody is life stealing, has more power, and thanks to the aura of healing, they heal even more on top of my own healing. So a bit trollish, but so far it didn't let me down either. So yeah, when it comes to solo, you can really go anyway, but make sure you have both damage and defense. That's the best way to play Aphrodite solo. Don't just build damage, because the enemy solo and the enemy jungler will outdo your healing, even though you have ways to be safe. But build a bit of defense, not a lot. You can get away with only 1 or 2 defense items, but make sure to at least have a few. And other than that, you want things that either will be an hindrance to the enemy team, so those two baby, or something that will help your team, like this, like Horror's item, and other stuff like that. So that's it for a solo Aphrodite. Now if, and that's only a if, you want to play support Aphrodite, which I don't know why you would, but whatever tickle your fancy. don't, and I do mean do not, buy anything else than a Guardian Blessing. The number of Aphrodite support who go ahead, well, any support really, but especially mage support who go and buy a mage blessing is astonishing. Don't do that. It's a great disservice to you and your team. Because as you can see here on the last sentence, it gives 3 gold per minion assist, and once evolved, it gives you 4 gold every 5 seconds. This is huge. This amount of gold might not seem like a lot, but by the end of the game, it's the difference between a full kit and missing one item, which could help you or your team. So make sure to buy a Guardian.
This will protect my face, right?
Yes, it will protect my face. So make sure to buy a Guardian Blessing. Also, when it comes to relic, you have a lot of choice. But don't, and I do mean do not, buy meditation cloak. It is, I don't know how to be nice about it, so I won't. It is utter trash, and I do mean trash. As you can see, it's not even percentage based health, it's level based health. Trust me, the enemy will be able to out damage the healing. But I know what you're thinking. You Aphrodite, you have I know what you're thinking. You Aphrodite, you have good heals. It's not enough. They will out damage your heal, and then what's left? 120 cooldown. Oh, and your body underground because you're dead. So don't do this to yourself. There's better option. Now if you want to go defensive, Magic Shell protects you against auto attack and abilities, always good. Now if you want to go either on the offensive or defensive, you have 2 options. Sprint, Heavenly Wings, which increase your movement speed once upgraded. You also get a removal of the penalty for auto attack, super useful for you and your assassin. Or Horrific Emblem, which slow your enemy, and once upgraded, increase the slow even more, and also reduce the damage they are dealing. Once again, also good. Those 2 you can go with the offensive. If you're having a good push with your carry, slow them, and you can lend your auto attack, hopefully. Or if you're running away, and you're not against a Thanatos, who is immune to slow them, and you have a chance to running away. Or, if you want to use the sprint, like I said, run after their asses, go and eat their asses, whoop their asses, and if you're trying to save your ass, run away like a little bee. But it's okay, ain't no shame about running away, if it means you can stay alive. Now, on the offensive side, we have Belt of Frenzy, which you can also build on solo Aphrodite, but I recommend building these 2 that I'm about to say as second relic. First, you want something that's either defensive or in the middle, and second, you want to go with the more offensive option. So Belt of Frenzy, which increases your attack speed and your damage, and once evolved, it gives you penetration, so you burn objective and people even faster. Or Cursed Ankh once again, which once upgraded, increase the damage the enemy is dealt by 20%, which from all sources. So it can be the Fire Giant, the Cold Fury, the Tower, whichever. If they're taking damage, it is increased. Now if you're an absolute mad lad and want to ignore my warning and build 2, and I say 2 offensive relic, go ahead and buy yourself a Belt of Frenzy with the Cursed Ankh. But beware, when you pop those 2, every single blow has to hit from your team. Every blow has to hit, but if it does, annihilation, total destruction. You're absolutely gonna whoop ass left, right, center. So that's about it for the relics. What else? What else? So I talked about... Oh no, I didn't talk about build that much. Yeah, I talked about build. When it comes to support build, it's basically close to the same of your solo build, though you can go with the Gauntlet of Thieves. Never lets anybody down. Other than that, one of those two. Spirit Robe, Mantle of Discord. Lovely. Your cooldown boosts. Void Stone later in the game. Let's say 5th or 6th item. Pytax if you feel you have enough defense. Ethereal Staff. And you might want to go with some aura item. So anti-heal if you need it. Sovereignty, like I said. Aura items, useful. Less often, but Artward, never a bad purchase. Oni, still good. Shogun, if you have auto attack on your team. And I think that's about it. Oh, and a Relic Dagger for your good old blessing. With Relic Dagger, it will be useful. It gives you health, cooldown, which we love in Aphrodite, and movement speed, so you can rotate faster once you have your cooldown boots. Always useful. So yeah. And after that, you can really go crazy, go bananas with a little. There. That would be something I wouldn't mind buying in support. Though I have a bit too much physical defense and not enough magical.
This
I
will
just go with
totally make us win.
there. With this, you can support, you have a bit of damage, and you can get away with it. So that's about it for the guide, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did so, make sure to like, make sure to share with someone who needs it. But don't just share the video, also share your tips for our future friends and Aphrodite mains. Do good, but not too good. We don't need them to nerf our girls over here. She hasn't been relevant since season 3, I want to say. So do good, but not too much. And have fun. Stay safe. Wash your hands, and have a beautiful
Day.
Exactly. Bye bye.